2. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Lynn Sanders at Difference Makers Media, sponsored by Difference Makers Media, and I am so excited today to give you a special treat. Let me ask you first a question. If any of you wanted to write your own stories into a children's book, have you even ever considered writing a series of books that would raise awareness about a special cause? Well, how do you even get started? Today, I have someone who could answer those questions for you. I'm honored to have my dear friend and colleague, Burt Kempner of Wild Media, an award-winning film writer and the author of 6 published children's books with a 7th on its way. Welcome, Burt.
Thanks, Lynn. So great to be with you.
It's good.
This is exciting for me.
It is great to be with you. I know it's amazing what you can do with the power of video and what you have done with your books. So tell us first for a moment, how did you get started in writing children's books?
That started around 5 years ago, Lynn. Just as a whimsical sort of thing. I had written stories for my boy when he was little and promptly stuck them in a drawer and never thought about them again. But then world events started conspiring to make me think about them once more, specifically the first Gulf War breaking out. I'd written kind of an anti-war book for kids about a narcoleptic blue whale, of all things. So I dusted it off and I sent it off, and everybody said, "No, we can't publish anything like that right now. It's a war." And I said, well, "What better time for an anti-war book than a war?" But it languished again in the drawers, and then I met an illustrator who's quite brilliant, a young woman in Tampa, and she worked for a publisher part-time, and she loved the story. So she took it to the publisher, and they ended up publishing, and that was Larry the Lazy Blue Whale. That was my first book. And then I published the second for them, Monty the Movie Star Moose, which
I love those titles.
is a comedy. Yeah, it's about celebrity worship and being who you are and being happy with it. And then I went out on my own after that and started writing children's books that I self-published. The first one that I did on my own, The 5 Fierce Tigers of Rosa Martinez, occurred after I had a very, very bad medical mishap and almost bled to death. And these 5 wonderful tigers walked into my room, hospital room. And I knew where they were to help me. I was overjoyed to see them. And I got better so quickly after they visited me. So when I got home, I said, what a psychological boost that was.
Burt, stop for just a second. I'm having a little problem technically. Did you?
I'm sorry.
Burt, I don't know. There's a little glitch on this. Could you repeat back just about what after seeing 5 tigers, because it seems like there was a glitch on BeLive and then you kind of paused.
All right.
I wasn't hearing it all the way. And how did you see these tigers? Were they in a dream, Burt, or did you actually feel like you saw their image?
Or a dream? But I was awake, so I figured, well, maybe this is a lucid dream, and
wow.
these animals were manifesting themselves. But I knew everything about them, Lynn. I knew their names, I knew their backstories, I knew their personalities. It was amazing. It all just came flooding into me. And I knew they were there to help me, and I took huge solace out of that. So when I got home from the hospital, I said, okay, it was a huge benefit to me. Maybe it'll help ill children and their parents and give them a little hope, maybe provide a little healing. So I wrote the story up and self-published it. And from there, I kind of worked on endangered species. It was a very, very dear subject to me. And I didn't really like all the children's books I was reading about endangered species. So I created my own world for it. And just by coincidence, I happen to have some of them.
Okay, let's show us each of your books, and yes. If you just give us a little synopsis.
Yeah,
each one.
This is the first in the series. The series is The School of Animal Magic Adventures. This is Maisha, the educated elephant, in which our title character goes to the school of animal magic and is taught something vital about elephants, except when she gets back home, she can't remember it anymore because it was too traumatic. So her best friend, a cattle egret, hypnotizes her, and she tells all the herd everything she learned about the ivory trade.
Bert, could you hold the book to the side up so we could see the whole? Yeah. Oh, no, the other side. Yeah, there, a little bit up.
Oh, sorry about
Over
that. Yeah.
you. Up, up. Yes, it's a little bit more towards your face for just a second.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Okay.
And then you can put it down because I don't want to block your face.
Number 2.
So that's Maisha the elephant.
Number 2, dolphins in distress. Here, I'm going to cross my face for a minute. This one is about so many beachings of whales and dolphins that are taking place. And a lot of it is due to the use of sonar by the Navy. It creates enormous, maddening noise that just drives them absolutely bananas, and in some cases leads them to beach themselves. So in this one, our intrepid team of the elephant, the egret, and the white lion, who's a mysterious emissary from the stars, goes out and comes to the rescue. And then we have...
So how did Burt, before just one second, so how did you think of that? Was that from reading something in the news, or you just knew about it in the back of your...
I've been following that story for years, and I've always wanted to do something about it.
Okay.
And this leads us to number 3 in the series, the salmon who wanted to run. This is about wild salmon in the Canadian area and how they're being edged out of existence by a number of factors. The pollution, the heating of the water, which is preventing them from getting the energy and nutrition they need to go back to their home waters to spawn, and farm salmon, which can be voracious killers if they get loose, and they get loose frequently. And they've decimated the numbers of the wild salmon. So our crew once again goes out and tries to get the numbers up. And I won't reveal how they do it. It's somewhat ingenious.
That's great.
And I don't have a cover to show you, but the 4th and final book in the series is called The Purple Wave.
Okay, and that's the upcoming one, right? There's one coming up this spring.
That'll be out in the spring of this year. And it takes place on the home planet of the white lion. And it kind of expresses everybody, I think, about the human condition now without bothering to put humans in it. So it's probably the book of the 4 that's the closest to my heart. And I can't wait for people to start reading it.
Tell us a little bit more about The Purple Wave.
Okay, the purple wave of the title is a destructive force that goes after the planet's brightest, gentlest, kindest, most enlightened inhabitants. It spares everybody else. And these enlightened creatures are called the others. Simply that. And if anybody wants to think of, there certainly seems to be a wave going around the country that is against the others of all types.
Yes.
Well, the purple wave addresses that, but in a somewhat oblique way. I don't think kids will get it, but their parents might. But that's what I wanted to say.
This is really important because I think anyone listening to this, at least for this long, would be someone who really has an empathy, compassion for saving endangered species and caring for our environment. I'm wondering, what was your greatest challenge in telling these stories so it wouldn't be so much of a depressing thought?
Right. Well, the last thing I wanted to do was send the kiddies to bed crying or depressed. It's a grim subject when you think about it. And I didn't want to diminish the seriousness of it. On the other hand, there are ways to get kids engaged and gripped by the story. And each individual adventure ends with concrete things kids and their parents can do to address the problem so they don't have to feel helpless.
Well, it's very important. That's great. I think it's something we all can benefit from. So tell us, how do we find these books?
All right, you may find the books either by going to Amazon and looking my name up. You will find it there, but I also have a website, www.burtkempner.com, and that tells all about the books and how to order them and a little bit about me. And it's a fun website. I think people will enjoy visiting.
Definitely, it's a wonderful, rollicking website, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's kind of goofy and it's crazy and it's a reflection of me.
I
So
love
I have nobody to blame but myself if it's that way.
it. No, it's great. So, we all have stories to tell. And what I love about what you're doing, Bert, is you are speaking up and writing those stories down and sharing them. And I'm very honored to be helpful in getting this word out, because I think we all need to do what we can to preserve our environment. This is not just a matter of a political situation. This is science. And if we all can take part, we can all make a difference. And you are certainly a major difference maker, Bert.
Yeah, oh, thank you, Lynn. Thank you. The thing is, if we don't grab the kids when they're very young and get them invested in this, get them to love this, get them to appreciate it, they're not going to fight for it when they get older. It doesn't mean that much to them. So it's vital that we reach them at this age, the early years, 4 to 8, something like that. So that's what I'm doing, and I'll continue doing. I'm not sure what my next book is going to be like. I think it's going to be for children and adults as well, and I think it might address climate change, but then I might turn around and do something completely different.
Oh, well, it's really important, and I'm happy to get the word out about your books. I'd like you to leave us with a message before we conclude, what you want people to remember from your stories and from you.
These are hard times. These are tough times. And I think every artist, whether it's writers, painters, sculptors, dancers, singers, should ask themselves, what can I be doing? What should I be doing at this point? You may decide nothing, just business as usual, but you might feel this mission to try and help out, to try and make a difference, to try and see if you can improve the world you were born into. And then using every trick of the trade, every ounce of talent you had on that behalf. So that's what I'm doing, and I'll keep doing it until they carry me out of here.
Thank you, Bert. I think what you're really implying too is saying is that we all can make a difference, and we all do make a
Yes,
difference.
we can. It doesn't. I didn't mean to say only artists can do that. Anybody can do that, and the more the merrier. I welcome the company.
Thank you. That was great. So everyone, take a look at Burt Kempner, Burtkempner. His name is spelled on the screen.
Right, one word.
And you can learn more about Burt and his books, and also be encouraged that you can speak up and make a difference too. Thank you all for listening. It was a great time. Thank you, Burt.
Thanks,
And
Lynn. Thank you.
look forward to sharing your stories with the world. And all of you too. Take care and keep up the good work in making a difference. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.